5 big-name college football players have already opted out of the 2020 season. The NCAA earlier this week said, look, anybody who opts out still has their scholarship. These guys are opting out, though, to commence their preparations for the 2021 draft. I've heard plenty of talk about agents trying to get guys to go ahead and opt out, promises of paying for their training now through the scouting combine. I think guys look at this season and realize that whatever they do, number one, they're taking a risk that is over and above what they ordinarily take as they're on the brink of getting to the NFL. But whatever they do, it's going to have this weird kind of vague asterisk applied to it. No one's really going to know what to make of this college football season. Does it make sense to even do it? And the guys who can be confident, the problem is, Shireen, there's more guys who are unreasonably confident that they're going to be top picks than there are guys who should be reasonably confident. So that's the problem. You're going to have guys opting out who think they're going to be first rounders, and they may not be drafted at all. But I feel like as we get closer and closer to teams opening camp, we're going to have more and more of these players who opt out because for them, they're not giving up any money. They're trying to preserve their ability to get their money in the NFL.
Yeah, no question about it, Mike. And we saw with the Pac-12 had conference calls and threatened to sit out, and the SEC has had conference calls with its players who have expressed concerns about COVID-19 and some of the protocols. So I do think we're going to see more players and more big-name players than we did in the NFL opt-out. We did see in the NFL some big-name opt-outs, but in college football, I'm not going to be surprised if quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, the skill position players, and we've already seen it, a couple of those, but if they opt out and they don't really have much to play for if they have an NFL career, in that they are getting prepared for the NFL to go and make money, and this is just that stepping stone. And I think college football, as you've said repeatedly, has to be very careful with that line, that quote-unquote student-athlete thing, with how they handle COVID and whether there's even going to be a season. I think there's a huge question now, more than in the NFL, if they're going to play this season. And we're seeing it with multiple Division II, Division III's already shut down. The Big Sky Conference looks like it's headed toward not playing, at least in the fall. And we've seen it multiple times. And so I'm not confident that the Power 5 schools are going to play either. And I think some of these players are just going to sit out, start training, and get ready for the draft in 2021.
The chase for the money is what's keeping Division I hopes alive, even if they ultimately do crumble. And if a guy like Trevor Lawrence opts out, that could open the floodgates. And one last point. Look, the NCAA's got its hands full right now. And I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but we know how it works in college football. It wouldn't surprise me at all to learn that money was changing hands under the table to keep some of these guys from opting out. Because for the schools who can, you caught us. Hey, we're trying to hold a team together here in a pandemic. Oh, well, what are you going to do about it? I mean, again, the NCAA may not even try to detect it at this point. They've got too many other things to worry about. All right, let's take a break. Coming up, we're going to have a hypothetical exercise that is premised on if the world ends today, and it very well could. It's not very funny. Which current players in the NFL would make it to the Hall of Fame, which obviously wouldn't exist because the world will have ended. We get that, but we're still going to have the conversation when PFT Live continues right after.